Good morning. My name is Stellan, and for my 8th grade project, I studied woodworking. Ever since I was very young, I loved creating things
with my hand.
Whether it's forming things out of clay, carving swords out of wood, or building models of battleships and airplanes. My strongest memories of childhood are of times I've made things with my hands. Work like this really helps me settle and focus. When I was young, I was so active, I just kept moving all the time. Even more than I do now, of course. I had a short attention span, and to be honest, I was all over the place. So to help me focus, my dad would have me practice drawing certain shapes on a piece of paper. At first, my hand would be shaking along the line, and then with practice and focus, my hand would steady, and I'd be able to draw the right shape. Still now, working with my hands allows me to go from bouncing off the walls to being able to focus. I love hands-on work that allows me to build things in a creative way. When it came time for my 8th grade project, I chose wood as a medium because I thought it was beautiful and I also thought it'd make a good challenge. For this project, I had an honor of working with Tom Phillips. Tom has been a custom woodworker for over 40 years. Guys, I'm not sure you know this, but that's nearly 3 times my age. That's crazy. He's made everything. Tables, counters, beds, railings, staircases, chests, chairs, anything you can think of. He's a master woodworker. When I first visited Tom's workshop, I felt like I was in a woodworker's domain. I could smell the fresh wood and sawdust. The walls were filled with tools to the brim, neatly organized by size and style. Hand planers in one spot, organized like ducks in a row, and drill bits in another. As I was walking into the larger part of the workshop, the space was filled with a bunch of big machines, like a table saw, routers, electric hand planer, belt sanders. It was amazing. With the time that we had, Tom and I decided that we'd make a small round table. Tom specializes in a certain kind of carpentry called joinery. With this technique, furniture is made without using any nails or screws. Instead, the furniture is joined together by cutting them into shapes that interlock. Different methods include the dovetail joint you see here, and the butterfly joint, which looks like a bow tie. And is used to stabilize a piece of wood when it has a crack. You can see bow ties out on the benches in front of the classrooms outside in the breezeways. Because joinery doesn't use any nails or screws, it requires a bunch of patience and precision to cut the wood for a perfect fit. To build the table, we chose wood from Tom's recycled wood pile. For the top alone, we used 5 different pieces of wood. We leveled each piece the same thickness using an electric planer, as you see here. An electric planer is a machine where the wood comes through here and there's a blade in the center that levels to how much you want. And right here is a vent that spews out the chips and the sawdust from the cutting. After planing, we glued each piece side by side for the tabletop. We cut the top into a round shape using a bandsaw. A bandsaw is a machine where it has a blade going straight down the center, as you can see, obviously. And you can maneuver the piece that you're cutting any way you want with all this space. So you can create a nice round edge for cutting. We hooked up the table to a vise and used a hand planer. This is a hand planer. I'm not sure you guys can see it, but this is what it looks like.
What's that piece at the bottom of?
This piece right here is a blade that is going down with the tool. As you push it over the wood, it shaves the surface into long coils like this. Here, I'll show you. This is what they end up to look like. Is it okay if I hand out to the audience?
Sure, maybe the third grade, they're a second class, just the threes. Nothing,
Make sure to pass it around.
just down though. We'll show you guys. Oh, carpenters use hand cleaners to shape smooth and flatten.
Carpenters use hand planers to either shape, smooth, or flatten wood surfaces, creating a precise edge
that
power tools sometimes can't do.
With the surface level.
With the surface leveled, we rounded the edges using a router. This is a router. A router has a round blade that spins pretty fast because it's a machine. Duh. Who doesn't know that? As you push the wood through,
The blade rounds
the blade rounds the edges.
We sanded the surface.
We sanded the surface using a rubber sanding block. Here, I'll show you. This is the block right here. And this is the sandpaper. I sanded a lot. I mean, a lot, guys. After that, I used an electric sander to smooth every single edge. And with that, the tabletop was done. The next step was to create the legs of the table. We cut the four pieces into equal sizes using a table saw and a chop saw, which you can see here. Tom showed me photos of pieces of furniture he's made. There was tables of all different styles, including ones with tapered legs. Tapering is a design where the legs gradually become narrower from the top to the bottom. We decided to taper the legs of this. I drew lines along the length of the wood at the angle of the taper and cut the wood with a table saw, which is what you saw earlier.
Just like the top.
Just like the top.
On your place, you're right up your photo 13. Just like the top.
Just like the top, we planed the legs to level them, used the router to round the edges, and fully sanded the surfaces. The next step was the joinery work, where I cut shapes to connect the legs to the tabletop. I created pegs on the legs to stick into the tabletop. We drilled matching holes through the tabletop to fit the legs. Fitting the legs took patience. Every time it seemed perfect, even a slight difference required removing the legs, sanding them down, and retrying. I had to do this over and over and over again until each leg fit just right. Finally, it was time for the fully assembly. We made a little split in the pegs for the wedges that would secure them into the tabletop holes. We glued each peg into its hole in the top piece, then hammered in the wedge to secure the leg in place. Securing the wedges was the most tense part because I actually broke one of the wedges at one point. Once we were hammering, there was no turning back after all the work we put in. Once it was done, my table was fully assembled and I was happy. We sanded over every inch of the table one final time. We then cut angled edges at the bottom of each leg to soften the look. The last step was to polish the table with a varnish to showcase the beauty of the wood grain. All the sanding I had done made the table seem white. Then, as I was brushing the clear finish on the table, it looked like I was painting an abstract black and white world with a color brush. It was cool. I'll show you.
Can I hold the wood for stuff?
Yeah. Here is the varnish.
It's sanded, Stellan?
Yes. And this is the brush. This is like magic, isn't it? When I looked at the table at the very end, it turned out amazing. After all the steps and work, I could not believe my eyes. It was so beautiful, and now I'll show you it to you all. Here is the finished piece.
This isn't the two.
This is. Ready, guys? So the wedges, if you're close enough, you could probably see that they're all angled at a different spot. The reason why that is because if it's with the grain, it could actually split the wood. So we decided to angle it in different spots. So it wouldn't just cut the wood and destroy our table.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Smith. All right. What I love about the table is how friendly it looks, with its round edges and how well the legs were placed. I also love the variety of woods. You can see all different colors. If you come up close, you can see that. The style, comfort, height, and length all came together perfectly. Truly, it did. My favorite section of the wood is the outside piece because you can see all the grains and knots. I love the orange wood color in this part. See it right here.
You said what color?
It's red, brown, yellow, red. The most exciting part of my project was using the large metal machinery, like the table saw or the bandsaw. It was nerve-wracking because I knew I could really hurt myself if I wasn't paying attention, but also super cool to cut the wood with a fast-moving saw. Another moment I loved was using the router to round the edges of the legs. The big tools were thrilling and even scary. I liked the danger of it with the blades spinning super fast. Out of the whole experience, the highest of highlights was getting to know Tom. He's incredibly strong, smart, and strong-willed. When he works, you can feel he's a master of his craft. I remember planning the tabletop and struggling with the resistance. But when Tom did it, I felt like he was just cutting with a butter knife with a room temperature butter. I can't explain it. Doesn't make sense.
Smooth and effortless.
Smooth and effortless. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's also friendly and funny as well. On the last day, Tom gave us a tour of his house, which felt like a museum of his work. Everywhere you looked showed some touch of his craftsmanship. The kitchen featured handmade counters, cabinets, and furniture, all crafted beautifully. His bedroom was nearly entirely handmade, with custom flooring and pull-out shoe storage. Upstairs, he remodeled the roof, adding a bathroom and 2 bedrooms for his children. Visiting his home was an honor and a beautiful experience. Learning woodworking was really awesome, fun, and helpful. I could see myself pursuing it as a career, and even if I don't, it's a great skill to have. Also, over the course of the project, I learned how to be more patient. Something I learned as a fact is that slow and steady really does win the race. Overall, I'd like to thank the school for this opportunity. I would like to thank my mom for always supporting and helping me through this project. She's my hero. I would also like to thank Kristen for the tech support, Miss Benson for my speech. I also want to thank Dave Kaufman for somehow knowing every single person in the Valley and connecting me with my mentor. And last but not least, Tom. Tom, would you please stand? Tom, I am so thankful you were willing to be my mentor for my project and teach me woodworking. This means so much to me. I do not know at all what I'd be doing right now if it wasn't for you. Thank you for listening. Could everyone please, one last time, give me another round of applause? Does anybody have questions? All right. Luke.
What is your favorite part of this project?
Oh, my favorite part of the project. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably putting the varnish on the table. Or just meeting Tom. Malachi,
You gonna put that in your house?
100%, 100%. Ashley,
How long did it take to make the make the table, including all the planning and like all the getting materials, like the whole thing?
around 30 hours.
Does anyone have a question about the process? Like the steps? Go ahead.
Soji,
What was your favorite step?
okay, she said what my favorite step was. Oh man, my favorite step was probably, oh, there's so many. Probably leveling the wood to the thickness that we wanted.
Okay, last question.
All right, Shibeo.
Did you get any splinters?
Since my hands are so tough, I didn't. So, yeah.
I just wanna, I noticed something as we were putting this up here, Stellan. Can you say what's at the bottom of the table? I just discovered it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we carved little markings. It's my signature of Tom and me, and the year we made it.
Thank you, Stellan. A big one of applause.